I'm going to ask you a hard question.
Oh my God, you started off hot already.
We're starting off deep. Do black women hate it when black men date white women?
Do black women hate it?
Sorry, let me rephrase. Do black women hate it when successful black men date white women?
Okay, so first of all, I can't speak for every black woman. Just going to put that out there. I'll be honest.
Mm-hmm.
A few years ago, there was a slight curiosity for myself. I was like, oh, what is it? I've noticed this, not trend or pattern, but you do notice that once a black man gets successful, suddenly like his appetite dating wise kind of changes.
Didn't change.
I'm trying to be politically correct. Or perhaps when you were still shooting in the gym, you couldn't, attract said caliber of women. But I did see, it's like, okay, wow, they're getting lighter and lighter. The more money you make kind of vibe. What is it? I can't say that I hate it. I think it's just, I'm just curious, like, what is it? Is it like a, can I say fetish? Is it, what is it?
Yeah,
Does it come with the lifestyle? Does it come with, what is it?
Well, first off, majority of black men are actually with black women.
Okay.
Including the successful ones. What actually happens is the ones that are with white women just get pushed to the front because that's what we notice.
Okay.
So you know how it's like, there's actually so much good that happens in the world, but if you just watch the news, it seems like everything is on fire. Do you know what I mean?
Literally.
Because the news only reports the bad things. So the black men who are with white women, they get pushed to our noticing at the forefront because it's like, another one. Look at this. Another one. While I don't speak for all black men, I think there is a miscommunication as to what actually happens. It is not that black men find white women more attractive as a whole. Sure, some black guys might have a preference, right? Like some black women have a preference. But it's generally not that. I'm going to get heat for this.
You say it.
I'm going to get heat for this. It's not about color, it's about class. When you reach a certain level and you start moving in certain circles, the woman you choose heavily represents and has an impact on your reputation in those circles. And so it becomes very important that the woman that you choose is a woman that can handle herself in those situations with class. And so a lot of the time, it's not that, oh, he's dating her because she's white. It's that he's just dating a woman that he feels has this class into these circles.
Palatable?
It's not about being palatable, because I'm going to be honest with you, right? So like I grew up in a really rough area, but then I also went to private school. I went to boarding school. And I've dated black women, white women, Asian women. Like I've dated different women. And
don't brag. I'm joking, sorry.
How dare she? She's slut shaming, guys. She's slut
Absolutely
shaming.
not.
How could you? I'm a feminist. No, I'm not.
We spoke about this last time.
But it's more, but that like I've dated women who were like, the girls that I dated like from where I grew up were very different to maybe girls that I dated in my early adulthood after I'd like been to private school. And even it wasn't about color or creed, because like it just depends on your environment, depends on how you conduct yourself. I've dated black women who are incredibly classy, right? And I've dated white girls who weren't that classy. And it's not a color thing. It's about the level of class, etc. Like my girlfriend right now, she's incredibly classy. Do you know what I mean? So I very much, now for me personally, and that's because some of the circles I've been in, etc., and being in my line of work and stuff like that, that's an attractive quality for me. But she's black. She's not white. Do you know what I mean? So I think a lot of the time, I'll be honest, especially the older we get, most black guys want to choose a black woman. That's the truth. Like most of them do. Do they have an appetite for variety? Yes. That's true.
Okay.
Guys generally do. right? And so if he becomes very successful where he can choose from the buffet, he might try a bit of this, a bit of that. He might try some plantain from
Objectifying, are
Ghana.
we?
Listen, I'm just saying, this is, sometimes guys do this,
Okay.
right? Like guys sometimes can have an appetite for it. But it's never about a race thing. It's always more about, Chris Rock made this joke. Oh, I'm gonna get cancelled.
What did he say?
He made this joke, right? And it's a stereotype. He's like, and obviously we're talking about the Western culture, it doesn't apply globally. But he makes this joke where it's like, he's talking about black men who date white women, right? If they become successful. And he says, a white woman will play her position. A black woman wants to play your position.
Oh my God.
And it's funny because that's sometimes what we see.
Yeah.
So for guys, it's like, they just want to choose the woman that's like, if he's going to be the man in a relationship and do his thing, they just want to choose a woman who supports him doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't going to try, like when Barack Obama was president and like Michelle was doing great and everything, but she played her position. People were like, why is she not at the front doing everything? Because she wasn't voted president.
Right.
Sorry. He's the president,
Right.
not her. She's the first lady and she did loads, she did bits, which was great, but she did that supporting him.
Mm-hmm.
She wasn't trying to play his position.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like a perfect iconic black couple. Do you know what I mean? They're a really good example. So a lot of the time, honestly, it's not because black men have this thing of, oh, white women are superior or blah, blah, blah. It's really not that. It's just choosing a woman that he feels brings that level to the level that he's now at. And the thing is, I'm just being honest, like, sure, I went to private school. I was the only black guy in my school. I was the only black student there. So it's like, even if I wanted to, like, and I've been on both sides of the coin, but if I was in that environment, even if I wanted to date a black girl there, I couldn't. There weren't any.
There weren't any.
Now, there were women from Asia who were white, etc., but there weren't any. Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to ask if perhaps this has a little bit to do with the fact that the environments where, I guess, at the stage where men are now open to dating and settling down, are those spaces where maybe there are more white women than black women. Or
Wait, say that again.
so if a man now reaches a stage in his life where he's ready to settle down and get in a relationship, and he's reached a level of success and he's now dating, and he's going to obviously date in his environment, are we saying that perhaps the environment itself is predominantly white than black?
It depends on the environment, yeah. I mean, like, if we take the UK, black people are only 12% of the population.
Yeah.
So it's like, out of 10 women, that the average guy will date, if we're going by the average of the population, only one of them would be black.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? But generally speaking, black men tend to date. Technically, black men date black women disproportionately to other races because we're actually like almost we're an eighth of the population in this country. So if a black guy's dated 20 women and 10 of them has been black, he's given the sisters more. He's giving the sisters more.
A lot of love.
Yeah, he's giving the sisters a lot of love. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do
you think there's a level of, you spoke about this and, Michelle Obama playing her position, arguably the white woman perhaps being a bit more supportive. I think that's
the joke Chris Rock said.
Okay.
I didn't say that.
Okay, he didn't say it.
I was quoting someone else.
Somebody said that. And I myself, upon this curiosity that I had, I was like, oh, is there perhaps a level of femininity that is expressed or demonstrated a bit more with that demographic than there is with those who look like me? I wonder.
So, if we're being completely real,
yeah,
the black culture in the Western society encourages our black women to be very masculine.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
It's not like this in African cultures.
At all.
Because when African immigrants come to this country, they don't struggle getting a black man, white man, Asian man.
Right.
Maybe an Asian man because they're, I was going to say a bit more racist. They're a bit more, I know, I haven't seen as much.
Rigid in their, yeah.
But they don't have a problem getting men who treat them well and want to look after them. But there's this rhetoric in the black culture for our black women being like, I'm a strong independent woman. I can do it myself. I don't need a man. And so it's like, cool. If you don't,
whose idea was that?
Yo, a bit of
I
talk
feel
to
like there's
Beyonce, Miss
Stop.
Independent.
First of all, leave Beyonce alone. Beyonce played the game exactly how it should be played. She sold this idea that, yeah, independent lady, single, and she got herself a man who looks after her.
The whole time.
Right.
A billionaire.
First of all,
By
yeah.
the way.
But I
Who
do...
he cheated on and she stayed. Just
Are
saying.
we going there already?
Sorry, I get it.
But I do feel like, as much as I can appreciate, you know, the narrative that we've just shared,
Yes.
there is a lot of pressure on the modern or Western black woman to like be everything. It's like you be soft, pretty, feminine, also hardworking, intelligent, get your own money. And it's like, before the options weren't as wide. It's just,
I hear that.
Be pretty and have children, cook, you know?
I hear that. And you're right. There is a narrative of pressure I think black women feel. Where does that come from? Because correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think that's coming from us black men. We're not telling our sisters and daughters that you have to be this strong, independent woman who's going to conquer the world.
That's a very difficult question, and I agree that it's not immediately coming from our black brothers or men.
And if it
in
is,
general.
correct me if I'm wrong.
I don't think it is. I think most men don't care how much money a woman makes.
Very true.
Right? Of course, a man will desire a woman who might be ambitious, have drive, know kind of like how to hustle in her own rights, but it's like he doesn't expect you to necessarily have like be the breadwinner of the household.
Yes.
If I'm going to speak for myself, I'm going to say that pressure probably came from not wanting the same experiences that my mum had. So I felt like, I feel like my mum, beautiful woman, you know, played her part in the home. However, her outcomes didn't really match what I feel like she deserves.
Right.
I felt like in the absence of her independence, she played her part, but she didn't really get much return. Kind of got left from the man and got left behind.
Okay.
And then she was left to kind of like look for ways to
fend for
herself and maintain her value and maintain her worth. So for me, it's like when I'm leaving my home, the first thing I'm thinking about is making sure that I'm intelligent and know how to make my money, because if push comes to shove, I can look after myself.
Yeah, and I don't think that's a bad thing. Like I would never, like I have two younger sisters, you know, they're both working, doing well and stuff, and I would never advocate for any women in my life to be incapable in that sense. I guess the question is, do you think, I know we're talking very in big generalities here.
Okay.
Do you think black women in our culture, in our society, do they want men to come and be a stable foundation for them? Do they want men to come in and kind of be in that quote unquote leadership position, to kind of be the man of the house and make sure she's taken care of and provide a frame where she can flourish as a feminine woman if she wants to be? Do they want that? Or do they want more the power and the money and the fame and being in that position themselves?
I'm going to go for option A.
Okay.
But I'm going to say that we just don't know how to ask. Don't know how to, because we speak about, or I especially speak about, men should learn how to be vulnerable and open and But the truth is, if I'm speaking as a black woman, I myself don't know how to say, hey, like, for the most part, I've been looking after myself all these years. I've worked in industries. I've probably invited more of a masculine expression, but at home, I'd love to just kind of like take the back seat. I expect a man to just come in and kind of just know it and do it. And I get frustrated if you don't, but I don't know how to. I'm being so honest. I just,
real. Yeah, 100%.
There's been a few experiences where I've met a man and he's come in and he's just made it so easy for me to just, it's been so natural and organic for me to just be my feminine. I don't have to ask, and he's planning and he's doing, and it's like, refreshing.
Yes.
But then if that gap between my masculine expression and your hyper masculinity isn't very like avid or like there in my face, it's easy for me to start taking charge.
I hear you.
I can't help it.
So here's
this is how I navigate the majority of my life. I can't just suddenly stop. Like, it's weird.
I understand, and this is I think this goes on to something that I think we have to be aware of, especially for the black community, is that I think many of our women struggle to provide the space for a man to lead because they're so used to doing it themselves. Now, I get it can seem like, I don't know how to do that because I'm so used to doing this. I get that.
And I'm scared.
Sure. And there's a level of risk, right? Because if this guy can't do it, you're like, well, how can I rely on you if you can't do it, right?
Yeah.
But that's part of the vetting process. Like seeing how a man can lead the team, if that is what you're looking for, if you're looking for the man to be the captain, providing the space where he can do that is part of how you vet him to see if he's the kind of man who can do that. So for example, let's say a guy's planned to take you on a date. He's picked you up and he goes, oh, I know we're going to this restaurant or whatever. And let's say you know where it is. Let's say he's driving you both and you feel that you know a better route
This is so
that's
funny.
going to get us
This
there
happened
faster.
to me 2 years ago. Go on.
Okay. You know a better route that's going to get there faster. How would you handle that situation?
So when it happened 2 years ago, I made a suggestion once. And when I saw that he kind of like just wanted to do his own thing, I just left it. I started playing music, looking at myself in the mirror, putting on my lip gloss. Like,
that's the best way.
We'll get there when we get there. That's you.
Perfect.
But in the back of my mind, I vented to my friends, like, I was trying to tell him to go this way. It's my area.
So here's the thing. Did you offer it or did you tell him to go this way?
No, not go. Okay. I feel like I'm showing my cards here.
Be real.
I'm good at playing dumb, but it's very annoying.
You don't have to play dumb.
I would say this is the easiest way for me to label it, but it's kind of like if we're in my area at the time, Croydon, it's like, oh, I think one time I went this way and it kind of took us to the front. It's like, not I think, I know that it's this way, but I don't want to make it seem like I'm giving you direction.
Sure.
So yeah, I do a lot of that. Like, I think, or what do you think? Or,
I honestly, I think that's perfect.
Perfect.
Yeah, 100%. Because I think sometimes a woman can try and tell him what to do.
Mm-hmm.
And when you tell him what to do, that's you stepping into your masculine, because I can only tell you what to do if I have authority over you.
Right.
If I don't have authority over you, I can't tell you. I can only ask you. I can only offer a suggestion. So if you're saying, oh, you're offering it to him, and whether he takes it or not is up to him, but I want you to, instead of kind of, and I understand it can be frustrating. You're like, I know there's a better way, and this guy's not taking my suggestion, and it's really frustrating, but it is what it is. You should see that as, okay, this is you seeing how he operates as the man in your relationship, potentially. Okay. So you go, okay, is he the kind of man who can take an offer and suggestion? And if he does, can he follow through on it? Or is he strong in his conviction? Because you may have been right, but you also may have been wrong.
Right.
In terms of the best way to get to this said restaurant. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Hope you really enjoyed that clip. If you want to watch the full episode where that clip is from, then I want you to click right here where you can watch the full episode. And if you're ready to claim your man today, enroll in my program below, and I'll see you there. Wishing you an amazing day.